Hello? Yes. Can you hear me now? I think so. Um, Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's session in preparation for the implementation of the transportation module in Umoja starting on Monday. So the session of today, the topic is about what impact will bring the implementation of the transportation management module into the current documents of inbound delivery and outbound delivery documents. As I said, this is within the framework of the project of the implementation of the transportation planning and management and track and trace. This is Elena Carrasco, and together with me, it's my colleague David Redondo, who is reading your question and answers in the chat. So the contents of today's presentations and the learning objectives is to raise awareness on the existing integration points between inbound and outbound goods process, which are executed in Umoja ECC and the Umoja Transport Management module called TM. To sum up, we want to emphasize that the accurate completion of the points 1 to 3 below will ensure a flawless data integration between ECC and TM modules. And points 1 to 3 is first of all updating the delivery date, performing packing, and inserting weight and volume. Then I want to take this opportunity to mention a couple of ideas about the shipping documents attached in the inbound delivery document and the new changes on how we're going to raise shopping carts and POs for the freight services. As the last slides is a summary on the T codes for inbound and outbound delivery documents and the end-to-end processes, including SRM, ECC, and TM with its touch points. The audience of this WebEx is mainly for roles RD01, which are the inbound coordinators, who are all of you who work on the inbound delivery documents, and also RD06, which are the logistic user role, meaning that you are working on the outbound delivery documents. The estimated duration of this presentation is 40 minutes. I will go first through this PowerPoint presentation, and I will finish with a demo in the system. And please, if you have any observation or questions or anything to let us know, please use the text box that you will see on the top right of your screen, mark with a question mark, and then it will open a text box. And my colleague David will be paying attention to your comments. I'm going to talk mainly about the inbound delivery document for different reasons. First of all, those of you mapped against the role RD01 inbound coordinator is much larger than those of you mapped to the role of logistics users. Second is because in the outbound delivery document you are already performing what we call the packing function, and this is not the case for the inbound delivery. So I want to focus to inbound coordinators on this issue specifically. Third is because what I'm going to say applies for both inbound and outbound delivery. It is the same process. So I will use the inbound delivery document as an example. Okay, let me introduce, for those of you who are not fully aware on the reasons for this WebEx. The reason is that from next Monday onwards, Umoja will have implemented another module in order to manage the transportation of the materials that UN receives as a result of a purchase order and a shopping cart, as well as from stock transfer orders, meaning intermission or intramission movements. With regards to Umoja, currently we are using, as you know, the SRM module, where we perform different activities and we create different documents, such as shopping carts for both materials and also shopping carts for services, specifically freight services. We also use SRM module to create, edit, and approve purchase orders, to conduct solicitation processes, RFX, invitation to bid, request for quotation, request for proposals, and also to create and approve low-value acquisitions. All of these are within the transactions called source to acquire group of transactions. And this is already familiar to all of us. Then in Umoja, we work on the module ECC, and it's where we work on the inbound delivery document. And after that, and in the inbound delivery document is where inbound coordinators update information, any information that happens between the approval of the shopping cart and the receiving of the materials, either by the freight forwarding on behalf of the UN or by R&I in the mission. So meaning that if there is partial deliveries, it is updated in the inbound delivery. If there are delays in the delivery of the quantities on the PO, it is updated in the inbound delivery, etc. So all these updates happened in the inbound delivery document. The next step is, as the track shows here, is the transportation. And this is actually not tracked as of today in Umoja. This is done what we call offline, system-wise, not in Umoja. We get information via courier, via email from the vendor, but not through Umoja. Then we go back to ECC, and it's in the inbound delivery document where we perform virtual goods receipt in those cases where the Incoterms is for virtual goods receipts, such as FOB, FCA, etc. Then we generate manually a document called stock transport order, STO, and it derives outbound delivery and inbound delivery documents for further tracking of the shipments. And then it's also at this stage where in Umoja we assign serial numbers to the equipment and batches to those materials that require batch management. This is currently being done in the system in Umoja. And then the next step is outside Umoja, which is in some cases where there is virtual goods receipt. It's another leg of the transportation that we don't track in the system, and that's why we call it that it's done offline. Until the material arrives to the mission, and then we use ECC in order to perform physical goods receipt. And all these activities are in a group of activities that we call in Umoja receive to distribute, set of T-codes, set of transactions. Okay, not only Umoja doesn't arrive to here, Umoja allows us to do another set of activities which are put away into the warehouse, to perform different warehouse movements, to conduct physical verification, to conduct counting and controlling, write-off, disposal, picking, goods issue, and many, many other transactions. And these transactions are within the group of what's called inventory management transactions and warehouse management transactions. Okay, this is what currently Umoja offers to us. From Monday, Umoja will also enable us to manage transportation and tracking and tracing the routes and the legs of the materials arriving to the mission through a new module, which is called transportation management. And as you can see, it overlaps, or there are some touch points between this module, TM, and ECC, specifically the inbound delivery documents and the outbound delivery documents in ECC. And this is the reason for this WebEx. There are no questions. I'm going to move forward. As I said, I wanted to emphasize 3 easy steps, that they are easy, but at the same time they are important. Because of what I said, the connection points between inbound delivery and the TM documents, the transportation management documents. The first, the first point that I wanted to highlight is the delivery date. As you know, it's the requisitioners who state their desired delivery date of the materials to be available in the mission, and then it's procurement who will confirm the availability of those materials in the mission on the required delivery date, and they will confirm it with the vendor through the purchase order. The purchase order delivery date is set at item level, and therefore, depending on the different delivery dates that a PO will have, it will determine the number of inbound deliveries documents generated in the system, and also other documents that you maybe are not familiar with them yet, which is delivery transportation requirement and freight units. Okay, so depending on the delivery dates that a PO has, it will generate one or more than one inbound deliveries and other documents in TM called DTR, delivery transportation requirement, and freight units. Therefore, inbound delivery is the link between procurement, SRM, logistics, TM, transport management, and R&I functions that are done in ECC. The inbound delivery document is updated, and what are the updates? The changes in delivery dates, the quantities, the volume, the weight, the measurements, and the packaging. All these qualities need to be updated in the inbound delivery document. The inbound delivery document delivery date at Incoterm location in ECC impacts TM module, as it is used as baseline date to estimate all other related dates, meaning departure date, handover date, arrival at destination, etc. And this is done, this is calculated by Umoja by using master data, which is the UN Transportation Network master data. For you to know is that if you update the delivery date in an inbound delivery document, Umoja is going to calculate many other data, the dates based on master data, and this is going to be reflected in all documents used in TM module. As you see here as an example, this is a screenshot of a freight unit in TM. This is the delivery date updated in the inbound delivery. So Umoja, what is going to do is this is just for illustrative purposes, is going to calculate if this is the date that the item needs to be at the handover location, in this case Dubai port, is going to allow a window of days in order for the TM planner to consolidate your PO with other POs that may go with the same route, and is going to calculate and to propose different routes and means of transportation. For you to know, this is just to give you an idea on how important it is to keep the inbound delivery date updated, because then it's going to impact to other downstream processes in the system. And as you see, these dates, it's, well, you don't see it now, but I tell you that this date is reflected in at least 3 other documents created downstream, and well, the impact is quite large. Can we change the inbound delivery date always at any point? Not really. We should make changes in the inbound delivery document only as long as the freight orders are not planned, meaning as the freight orders are in planning status. If the freight orders are already planned, meaning that the route and the means of transportation and the number of legs have already been selected by the role TM planner, the changes will be not done in the inbound delivery document, but they will be done in the freight orders themselves. So this is another screenshot from the TM module, but for you to know, there are different status in the documents. We will make changes to the dates in the inbound delivery as long as the routes and the legs have not been decided and marked them as definitive by the TM planner. Here we see that the life cycle status is in planning and the execution, meaning that the freight forwarder hasn't started moving the goods already. The second topic I wanted to talk to you about is the packing. And there is a little bit of confusion about what is packing in an inbound delivery, and when it's usually the vendor who provides the materials with the packaging already done. Let me clarify this topic. Packing processes done in real life, meaning offline Umoja, is the process of placing the items into the appropriate size box with the right packaging materials to ensure that they reach the destination undamaged. So what we usually understand by packing is a manual process of placing the items into the appropriate packaging materials so they don't get damaged during the transportation and handling. However, when speaking about processes in Umoja, we refer packing to the logistics process, meaning the packing done in Umoja of consolidating materials for a particular ship-to-party and inserting in Umoja the information regarding the packing. So when we speak about Umoja and we speak about packing, it's actually a process of inserting the materials in the system in Umoja, inserting this type of information. And Umoja packing is performed both in inbound delivery documents and outbound delivery documents. So Umoja packing has to be done for those materials that are incoming as a result of a vendor purchase order, and also for those materials that are transported from another location in the mission or from another mission. Packing. Packing in Umoja relates to, as I said, the process of inserting in Umoja the information provided offline by a packing list, etc., by the supplier with regards to the packaging, weight, and volume. This information is inserted in the inbound delivery document by the role inbound coordinator. And several packaging materials are already available in the system. Packaging materials and packing shall be done manually in the inbound delivery document as per vendor packing list. And also, this is the stage where batch managed materials need to be assigned in batches prior to packing. This is an example of packing and packaging. So we may have a container as a packaging material. Inside a container, we have some materials that are placed into cartons, and those cartons are lying on pallets. So this will be the packing configuration that the vendor will prepare for us, and what we need to do is to insert this configuration into Umoja. A little bit more on packing. This will be another example of packing. A container is what we call in Umoja is a handling unit. This container has two pallets, and each one of the pallets has two packages, and each package has the material that we are purchasing in the PO. Packaging materials are used to enclose or hold together the packed goods. Packaging materials are a special type of product that can be used for packing or transporting goods. Examples of packaging materials are crates, boxes, containers, pallets, etc. And the action of packing a set of materials in a packaging material triggers the creation of a handling unit. This is a Umoja terminology, but it's basically just putting set of materials into a packaging material. These handling units receive a unique number that is used for identification and handling purposes. And handling units can be nested into multiple levels. For example, a laptop can be packed into a box. This will be a handling unit. The box can be packed on a pallet. This will be another handling unit. And this pallet can be packed into a container. And this will make another handling unit number in Umoja. Packing and other editions are made in the T code BL32N. And remember to click both Enter and the Save icon, both. If you click only one, Enter or Save, you will receive a warning message informing that there is a subsequent document in the TM module, and the changes may impact the TM module. And remember to click Enter again, otherwise the information will not be saved. Once the packing is updated in the inbound delivery document, the information is transferred to the freight units in the TM module. This is a screenshot of the examples of how packing information on packing will be transferred into TM. So the information includes the goods and packaging materials information on the gross volume, weight, measurements, etc. So the last point that it's equally important and easy is to insert the weight and volume. Currently, the weight and volume of the product IDs is not maintained in the material master. So what inbound coordinators shall do is to update those information in the inbound delivery document manually. And this is based on the supplier packing list or the information that the supplier will provide. This information is entered at the handling unit level. Okay, Edgardo, I'm going to decline, but you can write to my colleague David Redondo if you have any comment.
Just a kind reminder, if you have comments or questions, you can, this is David Redondo, you can go with your mouse to the top. You'll have like a menu dropping, and you can click on Q&A. You can write there your questions, and we will be attending, paying attention and reading.
Okay, thank you, David. Weight, volume, and packaging information duly updated in the inbound delivery will reflect the correct dimensions of the materials being shipped by creating handling units. As a summary, changes that you will make in the inbound delivery document in ECC, and here we have weight, volume, length, etc. These changes will be reflected in the subsequent documents in TM in Umoja. So they will heritage the documentation, both changes in the delivery date and as I just mentioned, changes on the packaging and the dimensions. Up to here are the 3 points that are most important of this WebEx, but also I wanted to let you know that there will be some changes with regards to the information that we receive from vendors. Okay, currently, the shipping documents and other information provided by the vendor or the freight forwarder are attached in the inbound delivery document by using the button Services for Objects that allows us to attach documents in Umoja ECC. For your information, with the implementation of the CM module from Monday onwards, those documents will be attached in the TM module, either by an internal user, internal means a colleague of the UN, or with the role assigned TS01, TM Planner and Execution for purchase orders, or TS07 for STOs. And this is a screenshot on where the attachments are. This is an attachment done with regards to a packing list of a PO. This will not be done in the inbound delivery. This will be done on the TM document. So it may happen that from Monday onwards, you don't receive so many documents to attach, or you don't see so many attachments to inbound deliveries. And this is because they will be attached in another section of Umoja. Additionally, goods vendors and freight forwarders can attach documents and insert events by using a web-based interface called Carrier Collaboration Portal. So themselves will be able to access to a website that they will be able to attach documents by themselves, and these documents will be visible in TM. Here is a screenshot of the Carrier Collaboration Portal, where the goods vendor or the freight forwarder can attach shipping documents, and then TM Planner will be able to see them. And also in the near future, vendors will be onboarded on EDI, electronic data interchange, and the packing details and other documents will automatically come with the advanced shipping notice. But this is not happening from 2nd of December. Another topic that I wanted to inform you about that will have changes is the way we raise shopping carts for freight services. The shopping cart for freight will benefit from the statement of work created by Umoja TM. TM will generate this document called Statement of Work. It references the purchase order for the materials, the inbound delivery, and the freight orders created. For your information, freight order is something similar to a leg in a route. It creates the statement of works, and the statement of works collects the information from inbound delivery documents, meaning the quantity, the packaging, the dimensions, the weight, and cargo readiness dates, and of course the product ID. This information is here. In this example, the materials are not packed, but once they are packed, we will have the information not only of the materials, in this case an ambulance, and the quantity, but also it will have the updated dimension, updated in the inbound delivery, but by inbound coordinators, the weight, and the delivery date. All this information extracted from the inbound delivery will be reflected in the statement of work, and this information will help to choose the solicitation method. It is crucial that solicitation documents for the tendering of freight services have the above information as accurate as possible. Why? Because we want to make sure that we provide the right weight and measurements to the possible vendors so they can provide an accurate estimation of the cost, and we select the best value for money shipping company. Umoja creates one statement of work for all the legs in the route to be procured, not being possible to generate different statements of works for different parts of the route. This is just for information. All the buyers at your entity plant will be able to create and send for approval purchase orders for freight services. And Umoja at this moment does not link goods, shopping carts, and purchase orders with freight, shopping cart, and purchase order. Thus, both POs and shopping carts are not linked in the system as of now. Lastly, this is a reminder for those of you who are not so familiar with the inbound delivery documents on some of the T codes that are useful. VL34 is for the manual generation of the inbound delivery. As you know, the inbound delivery document is generated automatically for every 2 hours by the system, and for those POs whose delivery date is within the next 6 months. So for those POs whose delivery date is from more than 6 months and you want to insert the information, you need to generate manually the inbound delivery. Then we have a report to see the inbound deliveries and also the outbound deliveries, and then VL32N to edit inbound deliveries and to display inbound deliveries. The same for outbound deliveries. And this is to raise awareness on the importance and the impact on the changes on the inbound delivery that will have downstream processes. This is the process from procuring materials to just before physical receiving the materials in the mission. And this is the journey that the document will have in Umoja. We will begin with the creating and approving the shopping cart, then they move to the POs, and here is what we are talking about today, the creation of the inbound delivery and performing not only packing but updating delivery date and dimensions. This will impact in other downstream documents such as DTR, freight unit, and freight orders. The information that you insert at this stage will have great impact in all these processes which occur in the TM module, meaning it will impact on the proposals for the routes and means of transportation that TM will generate. It will impact on the charges that Umoja TM is going to generate for the freight. Therefore, it is going to impact on the statement of works that the Umoja is going to generate, and it's going to impact on the solicitation that we are going to make, if it's a quotation, if it's ITV, if it's RFP, and therefore it's going to impact on the purchasing of freight services. Similarly, it happens with the STOs and the outbound delivery documents. This is all the end-to-end processes for moving materials inter and intra-mission. We use a document called Outbound Delivery Document. We perform packing, and then it impacts in the rest of the documents in Umoja. This is for just to let you know that they are 3 easy steps, but at the same time they are important. Thanks for listening. We are going to do a demo in the system. If you have any questions, David, there are questions?
Thank you, Elena. Actually, there was a question before about LPA, but it was a bit out of the scope of this training session, which is mainly focusing on inbound delivery and outbound delivery. and updates. So it was replied through the chat and also with some comments from Sasa, and everybody can read it there. Other than that, no additional questions. Chat is the Q&A panel is quite quiet at the moment.
Okay. So if system allows, I will make a demo. I prepared a purchase order. And okay, let me see. I want to go to the inbound delivery. I type T code VL32N. My inbound delivery is this one. So let's see. 3 steps, as we mentioned, is to change the delivery date. So this is automatically populated from the PO delivery date, but let's imagine that the vendor is going to be 1 month late, so it will be 18th of June, the delivery date. Remember that the inbound delivery is used as well to perform virtual goods receipt. So in those cases where Incoterm is for virtual goods receipt, we post the date that the freight forwarder takes ownership on our behalf. We put here the date and we click post goods receipt. We're not going to do this now. The moment we are going to change the delivery date. If you see here, we have a new tab called TM status. Let's see what information it displays. If we click on document flow, it's going to show us documents generated in the TM module. We are familiar with the inbound delivery that begins with 18. But if you see, this is a new document which is called DTR, or Delivery-Based Transportation Requirement. Basically, it's a copy of the inbound delivery. It's a but in the TM module. If the inbound delivery belongs to the ECC module, the DTR belongs to the TM module. It's a copy. It's a replication of the document, and it begins by 11. Then it is the freight unit and the freight order, which are 2 documents that belong to the TM module. The life cycle status is in process and the execution status is not started, meaning that we can still make changes in the inbound delivery. Let's go back to the item overview. This PO is about 3 ambulances. And one thing I want to do is to do packing. Let's imagine that the supplier of the ambulance provides me with packing information, and I'm going to put the information I receive via courier or as an attachment in an email into the system. The screen has 2 areas, the top area and the bottom area. Here in the bottom area, we have all the materials that are pending to be packed. In this case, is 3 quantities of this product ID, the ambulance. What I'm going to do is to select, first of all, the packaging material by clicking on the matchbox button, which is the square button, and I will type set PAM, always, to see all the packaging materials available and customized for the UN. Do not use all these materials whose description begins with symbols. You need to scroll down until you find descriptions without symbols. So we have bags, we have boxes, we have cartons, we have nets, pallets, sandbags, wrap, etc. I'm going to select wrapping, bubbles, So I'm going to pack 2 ambulances into bubble wrapping material. It is selected, and then I click on Enter. So it creates, as you see, a handling unit. And in order to indicate that I'm going to pack 2 out of the 3 ambulances with the bubble paper, I will change the quantity here as partial quantity 2. And I'm going to select 2 quantities. I'm going to select the bubble wrapping material, and I'm going to hit on the pack button. Okay, so there are 2 ambulances wrapped in bubbles. And I'm going to, with the 1 ambulance left, I'm going to select another packaging material. In this case, I'm going to put the ambulance into a box. I know that this is not realistic, but it's just to show you that we can pack 2 quantities in 1 material, 1 quantity in another material, and how to perform partial packing. I selected a box, and what I'm going to do is to select the remaining 1 quantity of ambulance, to select the box, and to put it inside. Here now I have 2 handling units, 1 with 2 ambulances, 1 with 1 ambulance. I'm going to put the 3 ambulances into 1 container. So this is what is called multi-level packing in Umoja. Wait, sorry, it's set PAM. So I will put everything into a container. Here it is, container. Remember to hit enter. And I'm going to select the 2 previously created handling units, and I'm going to select the container, and I'm going to repeat the action. Okay? So everything is inside the container now. So just to recap, we did changes in the delivery date. We did some packaging and multi-level packaging. And the last thing is to update with weight and other dimensions. This is done at the handling unit level. I double-click next to the handling unit level. This is what we have. We have the container with 2 packaging materials, and then inside the packaging materials we have 2 units of the ambulance and 1 unit of ambulance. Let me edit the volume and weight. This is quite straightforward. Let's put length is 20 meters, and width is 5 meters. I'm just making up everything, as you see. What is important is to insert the dimensions and also the units of measurement. David, there is a question.
Yes, actually there are a couple of them. One is, I think, quite relevant for this moment. Alex is asking how is it possible to define the packing if the goods are not delivered yet. So in this case, we are doing the packing in the inbound delivery because we still have not received the items. But from where we get this information that we are using to enter it in the pack?
This information will come typically from the vendor. Either it is stated in the contract catalog or it is provided somehow by the vendor. We need to know from the vendor how the materials are going to be packed, how are they going to be handed over to the freight forwarding. And it's usually the vendor who knows the best way, and they have their own, production line in order to pack the material. Sometimes if it's medical, it's blisters, and the blisters are in boxes, and each material is packed by the vendor according to their standards. So the information is received by us from the vendor.
Exactly. So even if we are doing the packing transaction in the system, it does not mean that we are packing physically these deliveries, right, Elena?
Exactly. This is the main message I wanted to transmit, is that here we are not deciding, basically. I'm not deciding to wrap the ambulance into wrapping paper or container. Let's imagine that in front of me I have the paper or the information provided by the vendor, and I'm just taking this information offline Umoja and inserting it into Umoja.
Exactly. And a second question from Jasmine. So she's saying, so in case that vehicles are driven, for example, instead of being packed in an appropriate packing material, do we still have to perform packing in the inbound delivery?
Interesting. Well, I assume that if they are not packed, we don't need to do packing. But it's an interesting question that I will need to check and revert for.
So the key information, one of the key information here is what Elena was entering with the dimensions, right? So if eventually there will be a freight PO, this information will be required. But this is actually a good question, and we will take note of it, and we will answer offline. There was a third question, since I stopped you, Elena, sorry, about the T-code that was used to edit the inbound delivery. Another colleague was asking if they could use BL06I, and what I just replied in the chat is that as long as they get to the inbound delivery document and they change to edit mode, it's okay, right? I think you used a different T-code.
Yes. BL06, it's a T-code for reporting purposes, and it has two versions. BL06I for inbound, I stands for inbound, BL06O, and the O stands for outbound. So if you type the generic zip code BL06, you will, it's a reporting, so you will select and you will refine your search. If you know the inbound delivery document directly, you just go to the BL32N. So both ways lead to the same document.
Okay, no more questions. Thank you.
Thank you. So we saw how to edit the dimensions, very simple. What is important is not to forget the unit of measurement. Remember, whenever there is a match code available, which is this square, use the match box, sorry. This case is cubic meters. We select it, and we are done with the delivery date, the packing. Sorry, Ahmad, I'm going to decline. Please write your question in the question and answer text box. I'm done with the 3 steps. So what I'm going to do is to save. If you see in the bottom of the screen, I get a warning stating that these changes may impact CM plan. Okay, we are aware of this. We haven't finished. We haven't saved anything. I need to hit enter. And now is when the information is being saved. This is very important, as it's very easy to forget to hit enter. So remember, until you don't get the information the green message saying inbound delivery has been saved, it is not saved. I want to see the changes, so let me enter again. And let me click on the hat button on the top, parcel tracking tab. And this is, I like this view of the packaging materials. We have here an inbound delivery. As you see, it begins with 1.8. We are familiar with this. I open and I see that there is a container C 40 feet. And inside the container, we have a wrap bubble and a box. Okay, the wrap bubble has something because I see this triangle. The wrap bubble has two units of ambulance, and this is the product ID, the 21001218. And then the box has 1 unit of ambulance, and this is the product ID. I think this view is, you see, we have the pack, the box icon. I think this is a very user-friendly way to see if the packaging has been well done. Yeah, this is all I wanted to show you. If you have any questions, please, you can shoot us an email to ucstraining@un.org. Thanks for attending today's WebEx. Remember, Monday is the go live for the TM. We are going to have almost daily WebExes on different topics, and stay tuned. Thank you. Bye-bye. Stop recording.